Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol. Dear devotees, Prabhus and Mothers, Dibbanam Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. Vancha kalpataruvesya. Nidanam Pavane Vaishnava. Is everything okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. By mercy of Vaishnavas like you, everything is fine. We just take this opportunity to welcome all the devotees to this three-part series on morning sadhana hosted by ISKCON of Richmond. So we are very, very grateful that all the devotees are here. And again, we are very grateful that His Grace Prana Govind Prabhu is here. So without any further ado, we really wanted to get into the nectar of today's katha. So without any further ado, Prabhuji, over to you.
Thank you. With the blessing of all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavis, I would like to start saying what I heard from Srila Prabhupada and different Acharya Varga in our Guru Parampara. So please join together to offer Puspanjali to our Srila Prabhupada and all our Guru Parampara. You can stay where you are, but collect some nice flower to offer at their lotus feet. Om Ajnanati Mirandhasa Yenanjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namo Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitanscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunnavadi Paschatadeshatarine Pancha Kalpa Taruvesha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Dear devotees, I would like to begin by quoting Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada's translation. But before that, I would like to beg your blessings and your prayers so we can converse or discuss the topics that will gives us a smooth ride in our spiritual path with a direction given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Harinam Prabhu himself, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Prabhupada. So with that note, I would request all of you that I'm sure you all are doing, just to remember that every time we start to do our morning sadhana, there is some preparation required. Preparation required is that before you go to sleep night before, you talk to yourself. What is the beautiful, gorgeous day tomorrow will be in your service? This is necessary that when we go to sleep, our sleeping status also has to be in a Sattva gun. By adapting, hearing Srila Prabhupada or your Guru Maharaj or some advanced devotees lecture, something that until you really exist through your consciousness, thinking, willing, feeling, when it travels through soul, through the intelligence, through the mind, through the vital, to the sensual. When you are sleeping, then early it travels. Now, I mentioned this, maybe I did not. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already garlanded this world with love of Godhead. So I ask this question to each of you. I'm asking also myself. Are you in this world or you are outside the world? If you live in this world, then you should be experiencing pure love of God. And if you are not experiencing, then you must examine your consciousness, because you are a conscious being, where you are. Are you in the world or outside the world? Then Srila Govinda Maharaj explained that verse in a different way. He says, well, even if you are in the world, obviously you are in the world because we are physically, at least physical location. Are you awake? If you are a poor beggar, you don't have any spiritual wealth or even material wealth, just an example. And Bill Gates comes and he thought, I'm going to go to the Richmond Hare Krishna place and live 2-3 billion, $10 million to each poor devotee. And he leaves the check in your mailbox. And you, as soon as you woke up, you're thinking, oh, it's a hard struggle, another day to make $100, I have to work 8 hours or 6 hours. Somebody was telling me. It's so hard. So this analogy is that, okay, you got $10 million. How do you access the $10 million? Well, if you are sleeping on the bed and you have no consciousness to wake up, you have no access to that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did give love of Godhead in this world right now. And the proof is in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita Adilila, say dware achandale kirtana sanchare, nama prema malagati paraila samsare. Samsara means this world. Srila Prabhupada translates, the whole world is garlanded by Mahaprabhu with love of Godhead and holy name. So if you are chanting and you're not experiencing this love of Godhead, who should you ask or where you examine? Well, there is 9 categories. See how much you are waking up to access that. So the analogy I created that, yes, you are a poor and Bill Gates left a big check, but in order to cash it, you have to first wake up from your sleep. Then you have to learn how to open a bank account and you have to have a trust that his check is 10 million is 10 million. It's not a fake. And by mistake, if you give it to a child who is playing with the toys, then it's done. You will probably tear apart. So in the beginning of our japa, every day morning, this is Adilila chapter 1.20 and 21. So you can check again and read again Prabhupada's commentary. There are 3 things, 3 personality you must remember. Don't just take the Japamala and say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No. You have to have access. Other day I mentioned, the spiritual world is not another location. It's another reality. You can have access Golok Vrindavan right where you are. But you have to have access to that reality. So that verse says, Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tine Rasmarane Hai Bigna Vinasan Anayase Hai Nijo Banchita Puran. Just by remembering your Guru, literally, I'm serious. Harinam Chintamani gives a very good clue to me. As soon as you wake up, you bow down to the lotus feet of your Guru. After you take shower and brush your teeth and you start chanting early morning, it's the most important period because you stay in goodness. Guru Govind Maharaj said, Jagannath Das Babaji said, as soon as sun hits, Rajagun hits the ground. You lost track of Sattvagun almost. Rajagun hits. As the sun is going down, Tamagun hits. This is the best time is morning, Brahma Muhurta time, before sun rises. If you can finish your rounds before sun rises, you are winner in spiritual path. So it gives why? Because Sattvagun is close to Suddha Sattva. Holy name always exists in Suddha Sattva. Holy name never comes to this material world. Never, ever get contaminated by the material modes. Holy name is eternally pure. It remains pure. Even when it descends by the access of a devotee who wants to serve the holy name, then holy name descend to this world. But at any point, the holy name is never, ever get contaminated by the modes. Just like the super soul is traveling with us, even when I was in stool pit, but super soul has no connection with the stool pit, even though it was next to me. This inconceivable potency of the Lord has to be always in our head. We must have a strong faith that this is how the holy name exists. Holy name is the basic of Krishna consciousness. It doesn't matter whatever you do, whatever service you do. Srila Jiva Goswami Pad said, if you do not chant holy name, even you are serving the deities, you are cooking, whatever service you're doing, holy name has to carry on. Holy name is so powerful. And holy name access always exists in the Suddha Sattva. So if you can finish, not it never finish, but at least your particular amount of rounds, whether it's 16 rounds or 32 rounds or whatever rounds of holy name you want to chant, you can easily finish. Believe me, I'm not talking from an inexperienced level. In experience level, I tried. One day I tried, I never want to go back. You ever saw you trying to finish one round and you're doing other things also with the other hand or doing this, doing that? Your round takes almost like 4 times time than you could have just sit down and focus and finish that rounds, and you could do the other things very peacefully. It's nothing wrong if somebody is doing this, but if you want to be very precise to see the result, give yourself to the holy name with 2 things. Give yourself with surrendering mood and give yourself without taking anything. What I mean, like when you give yourself without taking anything, don't expect something, all good things to happen to your life because you are serving. This is not a good expectation. We should serve the Master Holy Name without expecting anything. Then you will see naturally all the auspicious things comes. So first thing we should remember before we start chanting is Guru, Vaishnava. What Gurudev did. I asked one devotee, I won't say his name, it's a very nice devotee. I asked, tell me about the qualities of your Guru. I just thought of asking you. Oh, you know him? I said, no, I don't know him. I know him as form, but Guru is not a form only. Guru is a substance. Holy name is a substance, a quality, character. These are what Guru. Guru means Krishna conscious person, not a form, chemical combination, kinko, photo. That is a connection, we are not denying, but that's not real Guru. Guru is pure Krishna conscious person. Then of course he said, well, I never thought about it. I have to think deeply. I said, you are a disciple, you're following him. You ask me, I'm also following Prabhupada. Let's talk about few. You'd say about one good thing about Prabhupada, I'll say about one good thing about Prabhupada quality. And it was very nice ending. He said, I'm really going to spend time. I said, tell me about holy name. Who is holy name? If I am not even aware of what is this sadhana, what is this holy name, how am I going to progress? This is very important. So without delay, I'm going to say something very interesting that Prabhupada mentioned, that we must examine in our heart whether we are progressing or not. So there is a verse, you all can remember Adi Lila chapter 4, text 40. Also Antolila chapter 7, text 14. Question is, why do we have to do sadhana in the morning every day? Well, the verse says, Prema prakase nahe Krishna Shakti bine, Krishna eko prema data shastra pramane. Without being especially empowered by Krishna, one cannot manifest ecstatic love for Krishna. For Krishna is the only one who gives ecstatic love. That is the verdict of all revealed scripture. In other words, you have to practice every day with that strong faith in order to experience, or in order to Krishna sanction you to have love of God. Love of Godhead, it's so vast and so big, you cannot ever finish experiencing this eternally. That's why Prabhupada says in love of Godhead, either you float like an ocean, or you swim, or you dive. You can never end. There is never end of love of Godhead. It is not like an ice cream or something. You finish eating, your stomach capacity also limited. There is no such thing. That's why Mahaprabhu says, Anandam Ambodhi Vardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamrita Sadhanam. That ocean of ecstasy, that ocean of love, forever increasing. And as I always mention, that Nectar of Devotion, how Rupa Goswami Pad says that Prabhupada connected that with us, that no one can live in this world without loving someone else. I hope you all realize that. Why did Prabhupada say such a bold statement? No one can live without loving someone else. And he says, but that loving propensity began with the child. As soon as he's born, he loves the breast milk of his mother. Then he realized that mother is a big person who cares, affection. Then slowly the child grows, brothers, sisters, siblings, oh, relatives, oh, the neighbors, oh, the country, then the whole human race. His tendency to love everyone grows, but is never satisfied. There is always shortage, lacking. Why? Then Prabhupada answered. Prabhupada said, love can become all-embracing only when we understand that Krishna is the supreme beloved. And you develop love for him. And when you embrace Krishna, Prabhupada says, then all your loving everybody is complete, satisfied. They will feel that from you. They felt with Prabhupada. That's why he was expressing this. Now, like a mother who carries baby in pregnancy, maybe I would ask this question. You think the mother, when she's pregnant, she needs to go to school or some group how to love the child, or this will be naturally born with her as soon the baby comes out? I'm sure all of you will agree that it is natural for mother to love the child. She does not need to go to get a degree how to develop love for the child. When she has a baby, similarly, Srila Prabhupada quoted this verse, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.3.25. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, same verse, 23, Madhya-lila 23.18, 19. Srila Prabhupada quoted this many times to his disciple and said, one should see in their life how much I am developing these qualities. Although these are the qualities of someone on the level of ecstasy feeling. The way Prabhupada said is so interesting. It is there when you are reaching that stage, but Prabhupada also said you need to check whether you're going there or not. See how much you are developing them in your own life. So please start writing in your heart or your memory pad. First, you have to listen those qualities and think 5 years ago or 2 years ago compared to now. Have I increased these qualities? We want love of Godhead. The purpose of sadhana is not sadhana. Purpose of practice is not practicing for whole life. Purpose of practice is to get perfection. This is a wrong idea in Bengal. They had that you do bhajan, so you go to Vrindavan, do bhajan. Why did you come? To do bhajan. No, that's not our goal. Bhajan is not our goal. Bhajan is to get the siddhi, the prem, love of Godhead is our goal. So when you listen to this quality, I want you to compare right at this moment. Even though you may be with the family member, be by yourself and check. Have I increased these qualities? Then we will get some understanding how much we have progressed in spiritual sadhana. So when Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, in these middle 6 years, 24, and then 18 and 6 years he traveled, and 12 years he went completely in inner world in Radharani's mood, and another 6 years he was communicating with the other devotees that they were visiting every day. Those 6 years, he showed how all these qualities were manifest in his close associates. Therefore, when we study first 13 chapter of Antolila, we can get so much inspiration how to actually develop this quality. So what are those qualities? Shanti Rabbarta Kalattam Virakti Manasunnata Asabandha Samutkanta Namogane Sadaruchi Ashukti Tad Gunakhane Priti Tad Bashati Stale Iti Adda Anubhava Jato Bhavam Kurojane. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following are the 9 symptoms manifest in one's behavior, Prabhupada says. It's not like hidden in your heart, nobody sees. No, it's in your behavior. Oh wow, what are those? Forgiveness, concern that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false prestige, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, attachment to description, to the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where Lord resides, that is a temple or a holy place like Vrindavan. These are all called anubhav, subordinate sign of ecstatic emotion. They are visible in a person in whose heart the seed of love of Godhead has begun to fructify. So, mothers and Prabhus, is seed that you got from Guru, coming down through Guru Parampara, is it fructifying? You are the gardener, not Guru. Guru is not a gardener. Shastra doesn't say that. Guru gave the seed. You sow it. Make sure the ground is fertile ground. Fertile ground means grateful attitude. Every day during sadhana, we must be grateful. Oh, I'm grateful. No. Grateful means you have to give a cause. Why? That affected your consciousness. Believe me, if you can express 2 or 3 every day for 1 month, you will become a different person, guaranteed. You can call me and chastise me. No, Prabhu, it didn't work. You will feel a mystical ecstasy experience. But you have to do it. After 2-3 days, your mind will say, this is too much, I can't. I don't know how to find good quality of my Guru or Prabhupada or holy name. It's too much. I think I found enough. No, this is unlimited quality. Mind will divert you because you lose control otherwise. Mind doesn't like to. Mind wants to control you. Mind has a negativity. If you allow it to enter, it will control you. So this is important. Okay, as we mentioned the 9 symptoms, let's talk about what Prabhupada talks about. The first symptom of 9. In a short, first symptom of 9 is Shanti, Shkanti. It's not Shanti, Shkanti. If you look at the verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shkanti means that one remain peaceful even when there is a cause for anger or mental agitation. Oh, other day there was some controversy, but I didn't feel bad. I was just trying to think of Krishna and I didn't want to be part of this conspiracy. I wanted to be like peaceful, happy. But we do not escape from the Siddhanta. Because if we escape from Siddhanta, your mind will not be fixed at the feet of Krishna. See, we cannot allow the mind to control us, but we cannot allow mind not to be engaged by us. Mind doesn't like it. Mind doesn't want to be under you. But Krishna says, Tasmat sarvesu kaleshu mam anusmara juddhacha. Mayarpita mano buddhi mamevasyashi samshaya. Arjun, if you do these two things, you will be always with me. What? Engage your mind. Sorry, absorb your mind and engage your intelligence. So we have to absorb our mind. We don't want to stay away from. If there is some controversial things, you must respect that the material nature is creating, but how to see it properly. Escaping doesn't mean it's gone. You're just suppressing. One day you have to face it or it will burst out, make you a non-believer. You have to face it, go to a senior devotee if you cannot do it. Sit down, pray to Krishna. You can pray to Guru Krishna to pacify your heart and come to conclusive. You will be so happy once it is done. This is necessary. So this is the first symptom. Measure your tolerance. How close to Krishna consciousness. It may hurt to let go, but sometimes it hurts more to hold on. In my own life, I saw it. There are two types of pain. One that hurts you, other that changes you. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was a genius on these topics, and I love the way he expressed. So if some pain, some memory actually bothers you and you change yourself, you become advanced. Actually, something bothered me, believe me. I won't say it, but one of my mentor, Prabhupada's old disciple, she said, just tolerate. No need to fight. This is a chance. Did I like it? No, but I listened to her and I obeyed. Now I look at back 5 years from now, I say, wow, it's like a movie. I didn't like it, but it passed by. It's so good because this changed me. Now I can see a lot of things. I got what they call in America, thicker skin means you can tolerate. It is necessary. It is necessary. Prabhupada has tolerated so much. Prabhupada said this. He said negativity used to come from people I know, supposed to support instead of throw all this negative. But I kept on going. By the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this is what we need in spiritual path. It's not like everybody is going to pat you. Yeah, good, good, good. No, not necessarily. Rather, you may have a 10 friend, you may have a 2 more friend, but one enemy can ruin the extra 2 friend or others. So this is very important. I remember Mother Devaki, she was visiting here. She said interesting things. She said, true tolerance means faith in Krishna and 6 steps. I'm not saying this is authentic or not, but I see that she has a very good point. She came up with this. 6 steps for transformation. One is, here are the topics, be aware what the topics is. Just because it's something is not comfortable, you just run away. No. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says 3 things. I love those. I apply this. He says, if a person doing something harmful, criticizing or whatever, examine your heart. Do you feel like that you want to help that person? Do you really genuinely feel? Not like going to smash him or punch him, not that way. I mean, to get him out of this offensive nature, whatever it is. Do you genuinely feel? If you feel, then you should examine the whole things, what he did or she did, whatever. But if you don't feel, you feel like anger, don't. First. Second, you can also hear the criticism or bad things. If it pushes you to go to Guru and Krishna, and you pray to Krishna, oh my God, this is horrible. I'm so disturbed. My Lord, please help me. My Lord, you cry to Krishna. If you feel, then you can, yes, examine that, whatever the incident is. If you have a many devotee family who listen to you, depend on your spiritual growth, to give them a warning, you can examine. Say, this happened to this person. It can happen to all of us. Be very careful. Only for these three reasons, you can examine. And if you don't fit in either one, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, it will be gossip and it will take you, it will pull you down from whatever level you advance. These are very practical, very effective. I use this. So then she said that, oh, this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but she said 6 things. She said, here are the topics about it. After hearing, you must develop a desire to rectify. Third is, be introspective and honest. One devotee said something, and the president called me, did you hear the class? I was kind of trying to escape from it. I said, no, but I'm going to hear. So mother was very good. She said, I'm asking you a straight question. Did you hear the class, yes or no? I did not say, will you hear or not? I said, no, I didn't hear. And she taught me a good lesson. Be always straight cut, that you listen or not. He said, I want you to listen because he said something. We cannot allow that person to speak in the temple like that. So I spoke. I heard the class and later on I spoke to him. But interesting things I learned from that. The devotee, I was trying to say that, you know, the way you said you are visiting different temple in America, the way you said it is not actually healthy to explain like this for a Prabhupada's position. It was not a, oh, I heard this in India. I said, doesn't matter where you heard. I'm not asking you. He said, maybe you can talk to them. And so I told him straight. I said, Prabhu, you're not trying to actually correct yourself. People see you have done something wrong. You are not trying to correct yourself. I cannot help you. If you have a genuine, honest desire to correct yourself, yes, Prabhu, tell me, what did I do? I want to correct myself. Then, yes, possible. It's very difficult to escape from it. So when she said, be honest, yes, it is actually true. Then fourth, we catch ourselves doing the wrong thing that we criticize others are doing. Prabhupada said in a morning walk, he said, what is this bad smell coming in Mayapur? And Bhavananda Maharaj said, oh, this is Bengal's toilet, it's not our Prabhupada. It just, Prabhupada said, but this is in our premises. You have a tolerance for this tamogun, means tamogun is in you. Very interesting. I learned a lot from it. That if we tolerate something, if I say, oh, the children at some Gurukul is smoking, it's okay, don't judge, don't be hurt, means the tendency to do something cheating, illegal also in me. Now, if you say, oh, should you harshly chastise them? No. You create a platform where they feel they are loved and not accused. If you want them to hear, if you want any person to hear you, first thing you do Do not ever accuse, because accusation blocks the hearing. You can say it, but person is not going inside. And I tested it with a Kormi friend of mine, Bob, one friend of mine before, and I tested, and this is 100% true. That's why Prabhupada said the speaker must be speak in such a manner, he said, that audience respond positively. Of course, I'm not good at it. You all can please bless me and pray for me. But I'm just stating what affected me and what is this ultimately chanting has got to do, because these things are blocking in our path. You have $1 million, but you don't have a cash. You are starving for a morning prasadam. You don't have money to buy, but you have $1 million check. Well, that doesn't help. You have to learn how to open an account and deposit it, and then slowly you will feel that richness. So we have love of God within our heart. We have given the opportunity, but we cannot access. Who do you blame? You cannot blame anybody. Blame has to come within. So resentment, if we hold, resentment of reality hurts more than the resentment is negative. Longing is positive. This is different things. We have to understand. We should be longing. Oh, I'm not getting this, my Lord. Please, Prabhupada, please help me. I want to actually advance. But resentment means you are holding grudge against. It is a very deadly danger. If we let everything that happened matter, we don't let what matters happen. This is so true. Because when we pray for help, I do pray every day. Prabhupada pray every day. He did. You all know that very famous story. I mean, many stories. One pastime where Prabhupada asked, what is the difference between you and me? And those devotees says, well, you are pure devotee. Prabhupada said, that's in one angle you can say that, but one thing for sure, I will not fall down, but you may fall down. Wow, that woke up one disciple, and he told us this story. He was thinking like, how come Prabhupada will not fall down? No, I'll fall down. Why? He was like trying to follow Prabhupada for a few days. One day he saw Prabhupada at a particular time, he's praying to the deity. So he said, Prabhupada, how come you're taking so long time praying? And he said, well, I like to pray. So what did you pray, Prabhupada? You don't mind if I ask? He said, I prayed to the Lord, please protect me from Maya. But Prabhupada, you said you will not fall down. He said, now you know why. Because I pray every day. Another instance in Bombay, Prabhupada said, my follower, my disciple, they flirt with Maya. They are not afraid of Maya. So those are key points. We need to, his observation, he sees our heart. We should be very careful. When we pray for help, amidst problem, but our prayer is not answered, we ask, why is Krishna not helping? We ask this question sometimes. I prayed. I'm disturbed going through this, whatever, relationship, finance, or this, that. I want to chant better, but Krishna seems like doesn't answer. That's wrong. Krishna does help. But my understanding is his help does not always match our expectation. You may say, why not? Because he sees things different from us. We see present. We have some idea about our past, and we're planning for future, which we cannot see. But Krishna sees the future. He sees our plan, present, and is planning our present for the future. You can read Bhagavad Gita 7.26. Krishna says, Vedaham samatitane vartamanani cha Arjuna. Bhavishani cha bhutani mantu vedana kasyana. So Krishna knows past, present, future. He knows what present action will lead to what complication and treats us accordingly. Those who are sincere, serious devotee, they do perform daily devotional sadhana and become empowered with the conviction that even if it seems Krishna is not helping, he is always helping. We should have that faith. But I may not see in my own way. But you have to have a strong faith because Krishna always helping. Maybe not the expectation we have. So in order to tolerate, oh Krishna, it's almost going so quick. Time is. My request is don't focus on the wrongdoer in your life. Focus on the ultimate doer, Lord Krishna. You will come out successful. From my own experience, I said that. When somebody does something wrong to you, whether devotee, non-devotee, don't focus on it so much. Focus on the ultimate doer, not wrongdoer. And you can read 11.23.50 Bhagavatam, how to tolerate. Do not blame. Avanti Brahman story, so nice. If you beat your, with your teeth, if you beat your, I don't know, tongue, it ever experience. Yes, it happened to me a few times. I beat my tongue with my teeth. Now what do? You beat the teeth. Oh, you tolerate. So this is what Khanti boils down to. And devotee discussed this. Should I forgive him? On what basis? And all this, so much discussion on this. Another time you can talk about it. And I have a lot of information on that. But we'll go to the second point. Abhyartha Kalattam. Abhyartha Kalattam is 1.19.15 Bhagavatam Prabhupada gives. Very nice. Perseverance. Please remember, empowerment causes perseverance. If you see a devotee, even he had some problem 30 years back, 20 years back, 5 years back, or 100 years back, whatever. But this person is kept on going. You should, I'm talking to myself also, 100% sure this person is empowered by Krishna. Krishna Shakti Bina Nahetar Pravartan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, because that person has a Krishna Shakti, he is kept on going, even though he got humiliation or whatever. And you can go on in the history of Vaishnavism, how many examples are there? We have to be very careful. Otherwise, we'll fall into the category of offenders. And we'll ruin our own spiritual life. So be very careful, mothers and prabhus. Abhyartha Kalattam, utilization of time. That's what I understand. Means whatever you're doing, wherever you are, try to see how it is connected with Krishna. It is ultimately for Krishna's benefit you're doing. See that sambandha. If something is not connected, don't go there. If you feel actually it is never going to be connected, this kind of activities or whatever it is, don't go there. Take shelter of the holy name and chant sincerely. Krishna will change your heart. Even if it is there that I'm going to commit that crime. Yes. One time Srila Prabhupada told to Guru Kripa Maharaj in the middle of the night, you are sincere? Well, he called him first of all, and Guru Kripa Maharaj was sleeping. So he said, you are sincere sannyasi, why you are sleeping? Wow. And Guru Kripa Maharaj said, Prabhupada, this is middle of the night. Prabhupada said, it is middle of the night for me too. I'm translating and you are sleeping. Well, you are a sannyasi. He said, you are sannyasi too. He was a sannyasi also. And, he was trying to put all this, some kind of question to at least specify. Well, I worked very hard during the day. Prabhupada said, I also did. I was not sleeping all day. Well, you are a pure devotee. Then Prabhupada turned back. Why aren't you pure devotee? Who is stopping it? You stopping. That's so effective to me. You know, a couple years back, I went to Vrindavan before pandemic. I saw Guru Kripa Maharaj every day, Darshanarthi morning sadhana. And he cries for Prabhupada. So, Prabhupada, then he said, okay, Prabhupada, what do you want me to do? He said, go back to sleep. But remember that. This is important, that we can become pure if we want to. Mercy already came from Guru. What more do you want from Guru? He already gave. But in order to see the result, you have to activate your own endeavor seriously. Third reason is virakti. Virakti means detachment. What is the detachment? I'm just going to give you some conclusion. There's a vast explanation. Bhagavatam is filled with this. Detachment does not mean what I realize. Detachment doesn't mean you own nothing. It means nothing owns you. Please remember this. Because I had a lot of houses in a real estate here, they are beside my business, this, that, when I was trying to wind up just to focus 100% on the preaching to please Prabhupada. And I see that. It was not that, you know, that those attachment is like a clingering in my heart. So I had to like cut it off. So that's why I came to this conclusion. Detachment means you own nothing. No, it means nothing owns you. Otherwise it will pull you and give you stumble block. Srila Prabhupada said, I will not associate with anything that has no connection with Krishna. Not changing cloth even become renounced. Prabhupada was such a nice bold statement, he said. He said, I will not associate with anything that has no connection with Krishna. That is called detachment. Very interesting, very nice. From Bhagavad Gita also I learned renunciation means death of false ego. Radhanath Maharaj pulled out from one sloka. Renunciation means death. Celebrate departure day of false ego. It's a good celebration. Means nothing for me, everything for Krishna. That is death of false ego. That's Prabhupada said. He said, I had one principle, Prabhupada said, nothing for me, everything for Krishna. Renunciation is a serenity in facing events with a healthy emotional distance. It is necessary. Because attachment makes us psychologically rigid, isn't it? And detachment makes us psychologically flexible. And we need that in order to grow in a family, in a community. So detachment, conclusion is detachment is the absence of emotional dependence, not absence of emotion. Please remember this. You don't have to become sentimental. You have a sentiment. Don't give up sentiment. You cannot give up sentiment. You are made of. But don't be sentimental. It's a big difference. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, renunciation belongs to the inner world. Consciousness behind our action. Whatever. Right now you're listening. What is your expectation? What is your consciousness? Check them. It's very important because that's what makes you karmi, jnani or bhakta. Not just hearing Harikatha is bhakta. No, no. It's what consciousness behind. It's freedom from self-centeredness, not from work. That's why such a wonderful the way Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur wrote it. He says renunciation means feel that you are in a fallen condition created by your body and mind. Now you want to get out of it. That is called renunciation. Renunciation is not like giving up family. I didn't find anywhere it says. But your expectation, attachment from the family ties. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote that song, that if you see the connection, your wife, husband, children, as a Krishna servant and maid servant, and to serve them in Krishna's family, you will work hard, get a good job, guard the family as Krishna's family, not your family. He said, this is the best surrender. Whatever we have, we just utilize. That's all. Very simple. The fourth, oh Krishna, it's 11 o'clock. Give me a few more minutes, I'll try to finish. Okay, fourth, number 4, Manusunnata, pridelessness. And Srila Prabhupada gave a very nice story in Nectar of Devotion, Jaiva Dharma, many places. I would say, ask 4 questions. Can you ask 4 questions? Sukdev Goswami was studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Sanatan Goswami, if you know his pastimes, they never met until Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So when Sanatan Goswami was in a family life, and Mahaprabhu also was in family life, that time Sanatan Goswami was praying for a Bhagavatam. He was kind of very hankering for spiritual upliftment. That time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in a Brahmana form. Didn't say I am a son of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That time they never met, but he came in a form and gave him Bhagavatam. That is documented. So he knew Shastra. Even when the king, the Muslim king, wanted to find out, is he really sick? Why is not taking the job? He took a leave. Then he found his life. He was having a wonderful study of Bhagavatam every day with Brahmanas and all these scholars. But when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Benares, first time after came out from his position and everything renounced, why did he ask, who am I don't know? This is the symptom of a dainya, humility. We must respect other Vaishnavas. We should not show off, oh, I know everything. You don't know anything, I'll tell you everything. This is very important. And 4th question he asked, Ke ami, who am I? Kene amai jaretra patroy? Why am I suffering with these 3 folds of misery? And I don't know what is my ultimate benefit. I don't know what is goal of life and how to achieve it. If this question is not asked by us every day, then you cannot develop these manushunatas, the 4th qualification. It's very important. Every day we must ask this question, who am I? Where am I heading? Did I understand what's the goal of life? Even if you have only one information, read more, you'll find more, collect more. Appreciation we get for our service is not as consequential as the absorption we get in our service. It's very important. Because right now you are serving, you are hearing or you are thinking about Krishna. But remember this, the appreciation you get for your service is not as consequential as the absorption you get in your service. Oh, Prabhu, you chanted so nicely today. That's good. But was I absorbed while I was chanting in the holy name? Was I attentive? That is the more important. This is very important. Whenever we do anything, we usually have a various level of motivation, isn't it, for doing that thing. And depending on how deep or substantial a motivation is, we persevere in that activity when we face obstacles. Same principles applies in our practice of bhakti. We often want a sense of acceptability and respectability in our community. I saw this for decades within my heart. I want the devotee to recognize that I am someone, big guy or something. Even though I'm not qualified, but I expect it's true. Maybe I'm talking about myself. None of you have an experience like this. But in the heart, deep down, it is lingering. So if that community is pious or spiritual, that kind of service we do, therein determines our status. So we may do service to gain appreciation. Oh, this devotee so-and-so is now washing pots in the kitchen, even though he's so senior. Wow. Everybody sees him, Prabhu, you are so advanced because you're washing pot. This is how we generally sometimes chat. Such appreciation is not always a craving of the ego. It can also be a basic human need for reciprocation, wherein we do something for someone and naturally expect them to speak a few words recognizing that we have done. It's nothing harm. Try to understand. I'm not mixing these two. These are two separate things. Prabhupada always appreciated. Just like the reporter says to Prabhupada, so you appreciate the rich man when they give big donation. Prabhupada said, no, we appreciate everyone who comes to Krishna consciousness. Then after a few minutes, he says, rich men sacrifice with their money to push this movement. We should appreciate his contribution, that we are trying to push the movement, but his contribution helped us. That is not like we are only appreciating rich men. You may see that way, but that is not our intention. Anybody helps. All these young boys and girls, they gave up their life. They sacrificed their life. We appreciate that. Anybody helps to push the movement. So Prabhupada did both sides very nicely. So still, because of the unpredictable nature of the world, this is my own understanding, sometimes our service may not produce results noteworthy enough to be appreciated, isn't it? I hope you felt sometime. Or because everyone goes through their own moods and issues, they may not appreciate us, or appreciate me, even if we do something worth appreciating. That is why, if appreciation from others remains our sole motive, please remember this. If it remains our sole motive for doing service or doing our sadhana, whatever you are doing in Krishna consciousness, our bhakti practice will soon become erratic and sporadic. To develop a steadier and deeper motivation, we need to understand our ultimate purpose in practice, bhakti, is to connect with Krishna. And that connection comes in the most enriching and fulfilling way through absorption in Him. This is practically, we see those great souls in our movement, all those sincere, dedicated devotees, where they draw their happiness. Householder may draw their happiness from the children, from sex, from food, this, that. Okay, that's related to Krishna. But how the renounced, the great souls, they are drawing? Because their absorption in their service, in their chanting with Krishna, from Krishna. Indeed, if our mind and intelligence are absorbed in Him, in Krishna, then we will attain Him at the end of our life. That's why I quoted that verse, Bhagavad Gita 8.7. Not only that, we are already giving in Him, and our elevation to His abode is just a matter of time, Prabhus and mothers. If we get absorption in their service, that is itself a great treasure, that we need to cherish, because such absorption will keep us with Krishna now and forever. This is wonderful. I hope you all remember. If some or other you get absorbed in your chanting or sadhana, whatever service you are performing, but make sure that itself is a great treasure that we need to cherish, because such absorption will keep you, keep everybody with Krishna now and forever. So I'll stop here. There are there are four more. One is Ashabandha. Ashabandha, just I'll give the great hope. Prabhupada translated as the great hope. And you can read many, many cases in your life, I'm sure. You see the hope actually keeps you going. Yes. But I'm sorry, I just feel like I can't stop it. But one time Tamal Krishna Maharaj literally challenged Prabhupada. Not in a challenging way. He said, but Prabhupada, what hope is there? I'm so busy in Bombay. He was running, the whole congregation, temple. It was like a big job that time. He said, instead of thinking of Krishna, I'm thinking of the temple finance, this cleaning, this management, I'm so wrapped up. Srila Prabhupada said, so many lifetimes you have wasted your lives. Now for this one lifetime, let us work heart and soul to push this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, Sankirtan movement. Then at the end of life, please listen, I repeat this, I want to repeat this million times, because this is such a good prediction of Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, end of your life, Lord Chaitanya will personally come and cover whatever we lack and take us back home, back to God. This is very important. So spiritual hope is very important. To ensure the health of our spiritual life, we must transform our material hope into spiritual hope. So I'll end with that topics. Number 6 is Utkanta, deep longing. You can read this. These things are all there in Nectar of Devotion. It's inspiration, because this is how you check whether you're advancing or not. And that's how Prabhupada said, every day if you can do it, wonderful. At least once in every 3 days. Eagerness for achieving the desired success. How many times you ask yourself, am I getting Krishna consciousness, Krishna prem? What are the symptoms? I don't even know the 9 symptoms. Oh, then how do you know you're getting it? Just like I personally attack, I have a bad habit also. I attack sometimes to some devotee. I says, are you getting out of the offenses? Say, I'm trying. I said, tell me the 9 offenses. All the 10 offenses, quick. Oh, I don't remember all. I said, then how are you going to get out of it? If I don't know who is my enemy, how are you going to kill your enemy? If I don't know what are the offenses, how are you going to overcome the offenses? It's not possible. I don't feel any guilty of attacking that way. And eventually they are very merciful to me. They know I have a bad habit. So they pacify me. Say, okay, I'm going to remember it. I have to remember it. I said, Prabhupada said this. I'm repeating, Prabhupada said, if you remember all the 10 offenses and you try to prevent yourself, immediately you go from Namaparad to Namabhas, Prabhupada says. Immediately you go to Namabhas. But you have to be fully aware what are those 10 offenses. And you try not to commit your Namabhas state. You are liberated, literally. There are 8 symptoms. Another day will this 8 symptoms that you can check at that stage. Okay, number 7 is Nama Gane Sadaruchi. I always say that taste is the test whether you are advancing. Taste. Do you feel you are happy to chant? You want to chant more. If you're not getting taste, you're not advancing, period. This is my way of translating that word. Namagane sada ruchi. Ruchi means taste. So what does that mean? Taste is the test whether you are going forward or not. And number 8, asukti tad guna khane. If you are eager, if you know, when you feel a eagerness, this is a secret, very nice. Tamal Krishna Maharaj taught, I think I mentioned that, maybe not. The Tamal Krishna Maharaj told me that Prabhupada said, when you feel you want to hear more, you want to chant more, means you are connected with the spiritual pure goodness. I love that. I really love that. I see that I don't have that. But once in a while, little touch comes, but I don't know how to hold it. I'm praying, I'm trying. This is important. Very nice way to check how you are connected with Krishna or not. See if you are attracted. You feel like, yeah, I want to chant more. Okay, you are connected. But maintaining it, sustaining it, require commitment, effort, not automatic. Sorry, but that's the truth. And the last one is Priti Tat Basati Stale. Do you love to be with the devotees? Do you love to be with the atmosphere where reminds of Krishna? That's all. Ask yourself. If you say, actually, I do. I love some devotee association. It illuminates about Krishna. I like that. That means you are already developing prem. It's a little sprout. Not yet big plant. Fruit, flower will come out later, but at least sprouting. If you say, well, I love that, in my family, my wife, my husband, my children, they just love their accompanies us, remind me of Krishna, then you are perfectly situated. And if you are not reminded about Krishna in that family then you have to change and attract them to Krishna. That is required. Dear Prabhus and mothers, please forgive me, I took too much, 17 minutes out. So I hope you all forgive me. So I'll end here and give me some reflection, or if there is a further discussion.
Well, Prabhuji, just wanted to say that with your absorption and your realization, how you spoke really touched our hearts. How beautifully you explained these 9 symptoms was just so amazing. I felt like, these 9 symptoms should deserve 1 hour session each individually, not just 1 hour class and 9 symptoms. It was just so beautifully you were explaining and giving all the practical applications, not just the theoretical understanding of each of them, but how to apply, how to understand this in our own language, in our own words. That was so beautifully, and how you connected the morning sadhana, especially the japa, with these 9 symptoms. It was really wonderful that we need to check on our morning sadhana by introspecting that how are we on these 9 symptoms. That was just so very wonderful. We are truly grateful to you for.
Maybe it was your mercy, Prabhu. Thank you.
You're so kind. Thank you. And we really can't wait to request you again to come back and to ISKCON of Richmond platform. And you have so much, not just the knowledge, but with deep absorption and realization. So we are very grateful, Prabhuji. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And at this point, if you allow, if you have a few more minutes, we can,
yes.
If devotees, anyone would like to ask, if you have any question, you can raise your hand, and then you can ask your question. Prabhu is here to answer or clear our doubts. So we are getting so much of appreciation. Satya Prabhu is saying that such nice aspects are so practical you gave. So thank you. Thank you. Wonderful.
Satyadevata Prabhu from India joined. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. We see devotees from different places. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so we have a few questions, Prabhuji. So the first question is from Avatar Krishna Prabhu. Prabhuji, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Oh, give me 1 second. Yeah, go ahead and ask your question, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhu, I didn't understand a whole lot of things because you explained a lot of things. My mind doesn't work that much. But one thing that I understood was when you are doing service, don't seek appreciation from others. But if others give you appreciation, just accept it because that's the way people interact. Thank you for that realization.
That's wonderful. Very good takeout. Because if we deny, because I come from origin from a village, you know, where when you join, if somebody says something good things that they got affected, and if you say, oh, no, 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 that means you are denying their perception. That is not good. That is disrespect, actually. So what I learned from Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur, he says that a devotee sadhaka, when someone sees even a little benefit, just like Prabhupada did, immediately we transfer that credit to our Gurujan. Said, oh, I learned this from this great devotee. Oh, I learned this from Prabhupada's own practical life. Don't deny that that person saw something in you, attracted them, and they appreciate. We should not deny it, because then it's disrespectful that we are not respecting that person's vision. So we should always transfer it. So there's like in America, the language is called hot potato. I don't know if you ever heard it. So when potato is hot, they used to like pass it to somebody. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narad Muni glorifying each person and what each person is doing. Each person is saying, you are right. They did not say, no, 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 no. They say, you are right. What you're seeing me, actually, it is fully visible in that person. Then Narad Muni went there. This should be the Vaishnava etiquette. So Avatar Krishna Prabhu, thank you. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. We don't want to take that credit, but if somebody sees that something we're doing good, it is no harm. We should respect that and pass it to our Guru and Prabhupada Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So Prabhuji, just a follow-up question came to mind on this appreciation topic. In your talk, you mentioned that there is some need which is natural for every human being to get appreciation, but then there is also sometimes we hanker for appreciation because of our ego. So how we can differentiate? At what point we understand that, okay, I'm desiring for little appreciation and love from others because of my natural need or because of my ego, and then how do we differentiate between two?
Can I try to answer? Can I try to answer that?
Sure.
So my understanding is that you should not, as what was explained was that the person who's appreciating is trying to have an interaction, is trying to make connection with you, is trying to learn something from you. But as an individual, as a devotee, as a true devotee, you should not expect. That expectation part is the disconnect that happens when devotees start looking at it that, yes, I want to get something out of it. If you have heard the term Nishkam Bhakti, that is basically the Nishkam part of it, where you're basically not, you as an individual doing the service, do not expect recognition, do not expect praise. But if somebody else is giving it to you, you take it and pass it on. That's what Prabhu explained.
Very good. You can think also, Srila Prabhupada, very nice Prabhu, that was wonderful. That Prabhupada, when Vishnu Jan Swami was appreciating Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you have done so much, I can never pay back to you. You have changed my life. I grew up at the meat eating, and he was expressing. And Prabhupada says, actually, I'm trying to give to everyone. But those who are intelligent and taking it, They are appreciating like you. So actually Prabhupada also appreciated him back, but stating the fact that Prabhupada was not, like for an example, one devotee here, the BTG editor, Nagaraj Prabhu, him and his brother both came to see Prabhupada and they saw. But he is still such a senior, sincere devotee. But his brother still never became a devotee. So appreciation is necessary because grateful attitude is not what I don't have. It's what I have received by their merciful nature. We should count those. We should count every day. We should appreciate. I'm not qualified, but Gurudev has accepted me. I'm not qualified, but Mahaprabhu has at least attracted me. 1975, Prabhupada said, this is the view. When this devotee says, Prabhupada, now you're making so many nice devotees. Prabhupada says, I'm not making devotee. Lord Chaitanya is attracting them. I see that Lord Chaitanya is attracting them. We happen to be instrument. This is wonderful. This is how you should think. Just like that Prabhupada said. So we should think that. We should appreciate that every day. Thank you, Prabhupada, for creating this society. So many nice. At the same time, Prabhupada also reverse. Just like you know, in Bombay, Prabhupada was glorifying 12 Mahajans so much. And this Indian gentleman, very prominent rich man, who was very, actually helped us a lot, friend of Mr. Sethi. He said, Maharaj, you have spoken such a wonderful glorification from my childhood. I heard about these personalities, but I never heard such a depth. I strongly believe you are number 13 Mahajan. 12 Mahajan is there in the Bhagavatam, but you are number 13. So Prabhupada was so moved by it. He says, if you can see that, since you are seeing that, I pray that you also become number 14. Prabhupada reciprocated. When somebody appreciates, we should also see that, because in America they say, it takes one to know one. In other words, one has to be elevated. In Rupa Goswami Pad language, he said, one has to be Madhyam Adhikari to see who is a Vaishnava, who is not Vaishnava. So that means somebody has to be advanced in order to see another advanced devotee. Kanishta cannot see the advanced devotee. So this is very nice. Thank you, Avatar Krishna Prabhu and Dibbanam Prabhu. It's a nice, actually, discussion. If we can some or other start this within us, actually everywhere we see appreciate and thankful, this will change our heart so quick. Fertile ground is made by the grateful attitude. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur founded this. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Prabhu. So beautifully you explained how we can, transform appreciation receive into gratitude. Thank you, Avatar Krishna Prabhu, for nicely explaining. Okay, so we have another question, Prabhuji, from Ina Adams. So please go ahead.
Mother Ina from Georgia.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have many people. Please accept our humble obeisances.
You have a whole bunch of devotees. Wow. Dhanyavad. Very nice.
Thank you so much for inviting us, as always, from Govinda Prabhu. We just wanted to, if you could kindly one more time mention, where can we find these 9 symptoms that you were talking about? Nectar of Devotion, where?
Nectar of Devotion is the explanation of 9 symptoms in the chapter 16, 17, 18, this many chapters together. But it is also the sloka, if you are interested on the sloka, because you will see Prabhupada used the word, but he didn't put the sloka, because Nectar of Devotion doesn't have any sloka. It's all explanation, the entire book. This is in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.3.25. Also is in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhyalila chapter 23, text 18 and 19. And once you are familiar with those words, you will see many lectures of Prabhupada. He used those. Asha Bandha. Other day I heard. I said, how somebody would know Asha Bandha and Prabhupada talking? We have to have a hope. And then he quote this Asha Bandha, one of the 9 symptoms. He said, this is Rupa Goswami Pad's prediction. We should have always hope. We hold on to it. Many, many lectures. He used this sloka everywhere. So very nice question. Thank you. Means you have a curiosity to learn and advance further. You want to examine your own heart, how much you are advancing and how much you need to go. This is good. When we drive, I'm sure when you drove from Alachua to Georgia, I'm sure you checked your GPS, how far you went and how close you are. Same thing. This is a GPS. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, wonderful. And I think we have one comment from Chaitanya Prabhu. He said, I heard from a Vaishnava that as marginal potency, we cannot help but to be under some influence. The safest position is to take shelter of Guru Krishna and acknowledge that all is done due to their mercy. And by their mercy, others are being inspired to see some good quality in us. And that mercy is available to one and all. So
that is true.
Yeah.
But I would like to add a little bit because I'm a little critic sometimes. Like Prabhupada, all these Indian gentlemen, they asked Prabhupada, we need mercy, mercy. And Prabhupada turned back. He said, what mercy do you want? They could not say anything. So then why you ask mercy? If we say we are under the mercy of Guru and Krishna, or can you say what mercy actually you got from Guru and Krishna? If you cannot express that what mercy actually came in your heart, then it will be like a form, not substance. Imagine you get a letter, envelope, and inside nothing. And you wonder, like, did they write anything? They wanted to say something, but I don't see anything. So when you say mercy, you have to have a thoroughly realized submission that, okay, this is what my condition was. This is what you have changed me. You have transformed my consciousness from this level to this level. That's a real, genuine mercy manifestation. That's why when this Maharaj, Vishnujan Swami, he told Prabhupada, he did not just appreciate, he said what happened. He said, I was born with a beef eating. I grew up with like this. Now I cannot even have any, what to talk about looking at that no taste, nothing, everything transformed. The moment I met you, it's like a mystical. Cannot even stand to think of beef. It's completely removed from his consciousness. That is mercy. How a beef eater completely against, like, don't want to, he sees his violence, which he delighted before as a normal. That is mercy. When we say we got mercy or we want mercy, we have to be very specific. Then Krishna will reciprocate through those devotees. But if we are not specific, just like a Prabhupada going on a morning walk, and these devotees are singing one temple. He said for mercy, and Prabhupada said, they are singing for mercy, mercy. But Krishna already gave the mercy. They don't want to utilize it. They don't want to use it. They are saying, we need mercy, we need mercy. How are you going to experience that you have mercy or not no mercy? So this is required. We need to really examine our heart. What happened 5 years back? What happened now? What happened 2 months back? What happened now? Am I advancing or not? Bhaktivinoda Thakur said every Ekadashi you should examine your heart. Where was I before and where am I now? And then you have to examine like, okay, I did not advance. Rather, I went down. My chanting, my mood and everything. What was the association? First checkup, he said, association. Or did I eat outside? Cooked by somebody else, is not even offered. So it's contaminated. What is contaminating? Because food produces blood. Blood carries consciousness all over wherever the blood is supposed to go in the body. If blood is not reaching some place, consciousness does not go. If the food is not pure, it's carrying a bad blood. It is a subtle, it is not a calculation of RBC, WBC, red blood corpuscles, white blood. I'm not talking about this chemical or what make the blood. I'm talking about the subtle distinction that when the consciousness is carried, just like Bhishma Dev told to Mother Draupadi, when Draupadi was laughing, in presence of all the wise gentlemen, generally in Vedic culture, women do not make a sound that everybody's attention goes. She did. And Bhishma Dev asked in front of Krishna, why are you laughing? It's a matter of discussion of dharma. He says, yes, when my disrobing, when the Dushasana, everybody was trying to disrobe, what happened to your dharma? I want to know. Grandfather, help me. I cannot hear you right now because I'm blocked from that incident. And Prabhupada took it so seriously, that portion of the chapter in first canto, that he spoke so many times about this importance of how to nurture our body in a holy way. We should take care of our body, what we feed, what goes inside through the ear, through the eye, through the mouth. Ahara suddha satta suddha dhruva smiti labde sarva grantina muksha labda. And Bhishma Dev explained this. Because I was eating cooked by Dushasana, my consciousness was contaminated. Of course, he is a Mahajan, but he was exhibiting this just for our understanding that yes, we can deviate from spiritual path. We can go backward if we are not careful. We have to be vigilant. What we put inside us through our eyes, through our nose, through our ear, through our mouth especially, because it carries consciousness. Blood carries consciousness. Thank you, Chaitanya Prabhu. This is a wonderful.
Okay.
Prabhu, a follow-up question, if you may help me understand about mercy. You said if somebody is asking mercy, they should also be able to answer what mercy have they received. Otherwise, it is like an envelope that came to your mailbox, but when you open it is empty. Did I understand that right? Or there was some more additional detail that I missed it?
I was saying that when somebody asks for mercy, just like Prabhupada asked them, what mercy you want? And none of them could say. But it's like a tradition or I don't know, some kind of a culture, like you ask for mercy, but you are not aware what mercy actually you need and what you are looking for. Of course, the rest of the story, you probably heard it. They said, oh, we want mercy of God. Prabhupada said, okay, I'll give you mercy that you all will lose all material asset and you become devotee. They got scared.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have one more question, Prabhuji, if it's okay.
Sure.
From Kishori Mohan Prabhu. Go ahead, Kishori Mohan Prabhu. Kishori Mohan Prabhu, your hand is raised. If you would like to ask a question, yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
You are back on mute.
I cannot hear you, Prabhu.
Can you hear me now, Prabhuji?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you now.
Okay. So this is about, I have talked to a few devotees and they had some health issues and some had working the late night and early morning, some were traveling. Are there any exceptions in those cases, Prabhuji?
I could not understand the question again. Can you repeat, please, Prabhu? I'm sorry, I could not.
Oh, here about some devotees, they had some health issues and some work at late night. And are there any exceptions for this morning sadhana that can be done a little later?
Oh, I see. If that devotee really wants to seriously advance, he can pray. Krishna will arrange a situation. I give you a very practical example. A person, Western Bari, joined in our temple. And some or other in the toilet, in the bathroom toilet, there was no toilet paper. And he was not feeling well. And he saw a little pot. They say, what is this pot? They say, oh, you use water instead of toilet paper. So he did not like, just because some facility was not there. So he left. But he wanted to be a Krishna conscious. He understood the philosophy, some aspect that there is no other way to be completely happy in life, to come back or reform our origin. So he was working in a Dollar General warehouse. It's a true story, he told me. And after a few weeks, his manager asked him to take things down. And there was a big bundle of toilet paper. Some or other, when it dropped, instead of dropping in a package, it just broke. And the manager said, anything touch the ground, we cannot use it. Just take the whole box, it's giant box, as a 120 roll. Just throw it in a dumpster. He said, but nothing wrong. He said, no, anything touch floor, we cannot sell it. Then he reflected him, oh, Krishna. Krishna is helping because I prayed that I wish they would have a toilet paper. Now I got 120 rolls, not one roll, two roll. So he came back with this big roll and said, this is not a donation, this is actually free. I just want to give it and then I want to come back. So like this, that if we have a genuine desire, without changing, without taking unnecessary steps, Krishna will help and arrange such a way that you will get an opportunity.
Sure.
But if you say, oh, I don't care, I just like it what I do, that is difference. Then Krishna will not change.
Thank you.
Krishna is very reciprocal, Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
Okay, so with that, we are coming to the close. But before that, I would just like to inform the devotees that His Grace Prana Govind Prabhu does multiple sessions like this during the week. And one of the sessions happens on every Wednesday evening. So I'm going to very quickly share my screen because I don't know how to share this file in the chat, but hopefully you can see the screen. So it's basically a frequently asked question session with His Grace Prana Govind Prabhu. So in which, there are so many questions and he answered based on Bhagavad Gita, and it happens every Wednesday evening, 6:30 to 7:30 EST. And you can note the Zoom ID here and the passcode if you would like to join. So that happens every Wednesday.
Thank you, Dibbanam, Prabhu. I didn't even think of any of them. You are very kind. Thank you. So we'll end here. Is that okay? With all your blessing, please bless me and pray for me, and I'll pray for you all. Guaranteed, I'll do it. Sure. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpa taruvesya. Kripa sindhavaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnava. Anantagari Vaishnabinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Vaishnabinda ki jai.
Or Premananda.
Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for organizing this.